Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm back with Shimmerz paints and I'm going to be sharing the two new October color kits. This is the October edition. It's got 4 Shimmerz colors and 3 exclusive dots. Very pretty fall color scheme here. And then the Missy kit contains 4 different colors, 3 exclusive dots, as well as a beautiful cut file designed by Paige Evans. And I'm going to be showing you everything in the Missy kit and creating a layout with it. So I kind of did a little bit of doctoring with the cut file here. All of these arrows are actually separate, and there are, I think, 2 or 3 more that I didn't even use here, but I kind of duplicated some and flipped them backwards and then welded them together. So I have one big thing here for my background. And then here are the colors. I've got Coloringz Freshly Squeezed, very bright orange color. This is Coloringz Vivacious Violet. It looks really dark in the bottle, but it's really a bright, bold purple color. This is the pink. It's Creameez Berry Hot, and it's got this really pretty satin finish once it's dry. And then Shimmerz Sunflower, which is a golden yellow color, and when it dries, it is extra shimmery and sparkly. So here are the dots. They match perfectly with these colors, and they're very general things. You get an XO, an arrow, and a heart, which you can use on pretty much anything. So I printed these 3 pictures to use. They're kind of Halloween related. It's my daughter from several years ago, and she's got on a bright orange shirt with this owl on it, and it's got pink and purple on it. So I thought that her shirt matched these colors perfectly. So I printed 3 small ones, and I thought I would kind of scatter them around the cut file here. And like I said before, with this cut file, there are a ton of possibilities. You could use all of these arrows individually. You could make them really big. You could make them really small. I just created several different ones, and like I said, I kind of overlapped them in Silhouette Studio and then welded them together. So I basically have one big piece to move around. So I thought I would do something a little bit different here and go with a light purple background. This is just cardstock here from Basil. And you saw where my cut file is going to go, pretty much right there in the middle of the layout. And so that's where I'm going to do a lot of my mixed media with the Shimmerz colors. And so I'm going to coat a lot of that area with some white gesso. This is not only going to give me a little bit of white space against that purple background, but it's going to create a barrier between all the colors and the cardstock itself. So everything that I add to it is not going to just soak right through the paper. It's going to allow me to blend the colors into one another and just let them kind of spread around and not just, you know, dry as soon as they hit the paper. So that's dry, and you can kind of see where my cut file is going to go. And so I thought, since the arrows were pretty much horizontal, that I would take all 4 of the colors and kind of create some horizontal stripes. And the easiest way for me to do that is to create them in a vertical direction. So I just turn my page sideways. Now I took the nozzle out of the Vivacious Violet and then just added a little bit of it instead of spraying it down, because it's very dark and bold. So I just used the nozzle to kind of create a little bit of a stripe or a streak. And then you can kind of see here why I use the gesso. I'm just dabbing my paintbrush into some water and kind of blending the edges out so they're a little bit softer. And it's much easier to do this when you use gesso versus when you just add it straight to the cardstock. So the pink color is next, and this is the Berry Hot, and it's a little bit thicker than the sprays because it comes in these little pots and it comes hardened, and you have to add water, let it sit for a few minutes to soften up. But it's definitely thicker, and so I'm going to use my water again to kind of blend it right into the purple so it kind of goes into more of a seamless blending instead of just separate stripes. The Freshly Squeezed color is next, and you can see how bold and bright this orange is. But again, it's a spray, so it's going to go on a lot thinner, and I'm going to try to blend that into the purple. And they're still going to look like stripes, but I just want the edges to be a little bit softer. I kind of want one color to just blend into the next. And this is going to look really pretty once the cut file goes back on top of it. All right, so the last color is the Shimmerz Sunflower. And once I mix this up, the shimmers come ready to go. You just have to put your brush in there and mix it up. And this is pretty thick color also, or thick paint, the consistency of it. But it almost has what I would call just basically ground up glitter in it. It's that shimmery once it's finished, and you'll be able to see all the different finishes to everything once everything is dry. But I'm doing the same thing here, adding some water and just kind of blending it till it gets a little bit softer all the way down at the bottom. And I'm okay with some of the colors dripping down into the next color, because like I said, I made sure that I did the colors so they would blend. Like the purple and the pink blended together would look okay, and then the pink and the orange, and then the orange and the yellow. So, and I spent quite a bit of time just working on this. You can kind of see there it's a little bit drier, and now it looks really pretty when I put the cut file back on top of it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add some splatters. So I'm going to come back in with all the colors and just lightly splatter the purple on top of the purple. And then some of the purple gets on the pink, but that's okay. It's not going to be 100% perfect because splatters almost never go right where you want them to go. And so you have to be okay with that. They kind of go where they want. But trying to do, you know, purple on purple, pink on pink. And the colors that are in the pots are a little bit harder to splatter because they are thicker. The ones that are the sprays go on very easily, but they're still splatterable. I know that's not a word, but you know what I mean. But I really like how this is looking, and some of this, I don't want to completely dab it up. I'm just very lightly rubbing my paper towel over there just to kind of dab a little bit of it up. So now I'm going to bring everything back on top of it and see how it looks. And then I decided that I felt like the cut file was just too white. So I'm going to very lightly go over the cut file using the same colors. Now I don't want to completely cover all of it. I just want to give it a light coat of each color. So again, I want purple on purple, pink on pink, and I want to just kind of soften it up a little bit so it's not so stark white. So I'm just using a little bit of color and then using my finger to smudge the rest of it on. And I think I'm going to leave most of the edges white. I do want it to still be light and airy, but I do want it to blend in slightly a little bit more. And I didn't do anything to the cut file as far as gesso or anything, but I'm not really adding a ton to it, so I really didn't fear that it would rip or tear or, you know, mess the paper up because I'm just adding a little bit. Very, very small amount of liquid, so it's really not going to affect it. And it already has a little bit of dimension for when I peeled it off of my cutting mat. You know, since it's got some pretty thin areas, they kind of curled up, which is cool with me because I do love dimension, and in the end, I don't want all of this cut file completely glued down. I do want some of the edges to kind of come up off the page and have a little bit of depth to it. So yeah, so you can kind of see the difference here. Even though it's still tone on tone, you're still able to clearly see the shapes, and it's still popping off of the background, even though it still blends in a little bit better, if that makes any sense. So I'm really loving how that's looking. So yeah, there you can see the difference. You can see the different shimmers there. See the bottom one, how shimmery that is? That's the original Shimmerz paints. That's the Sunflower, and that shimmer factor is just off the charts. I would say that the shimmers are probably the shimmeriest of all the shimmers. If you're going for the whole glitter effect, then that's the main color that you want. All right, so the background is pretty much done. I'm going to start to work on my photos and my embellishments. So I'm going to add some tissue paper behind my photos just to give them a little bit of a layer of some sort, because I'm not going to use any pattern paper, and then a little bit of adhesive foam to raise them up off the page. And then I'm going to play around with the dots. I kind of see where I might put them, save those for later. But before I glue anything down, I'm going to come in with my thread. I've got all the colors to match. You know me and my thread addiction. I've got the dark purple color that I'm going to add up there to the right. I've got the orange, I've got the pinks, and I've got that golden yellow color. And so I'm going to do each of those 4 colors kind of around each photo. I'm going to do the purple at the top, the orange to the middle photo, and then I thought I would do the pink on the inside of the middle photo since there was the pink section right there, and then I'm going to do the yellow on the yellow section. So I did tone on tone up to this point, but when I start to embellish here in a few minutes, I kind of scatter the colors around, and sometimes I want to stick everything tone on tone, and sometimes I want to scatter it around, and you'll just kind of see how it goes. But yeah, but I mainly stuck with these 4 colors of things. So I did mix 2 different pink threads together to get the right pink color that I wanted. So I know the photos are going to stay right where they are. I'm going to go ahead and glue those down so I know that they are not going to move. And then I went through my stash. Now I've got a couple of pieces from Bella Boulevard here, I think from one of their older Halloween collections that had lots of purple and orange. And I found these little tabs. So I'm going to use a purple one and then a white one with orange dots on the top and bottom photo. And I think the dots from Shimmerz are going to go right there on each one on each photo. And then, yeah, I've got quite a bit of Bella Boulevard stash, and I had already pulled it out for another layout. So I'm going to use a sticker from the Make Your Mark collection. It's a little puffy sticker. And then this is back to that Halloween collection. There's this little booklet of washi tape and washi tape images or little shapes. So I found these 2 orange washi tape hearts that matched perfectly. So I'm going to start to add those in. And I felt like hearts were a good choice since one of the arrow cut files has hearts, the one that I used in the middle. So yeah, from here on out, it's basically going to be me finding little odds and ends. I'm going to use some stickers from this Heidi Swapp sticker book, and the pink dot from Shimmerz is a little bit bolder pink than the actual Berry Hot color, so I pulled in some stickers to match that darker pink color, and I love how that coordinates together. So I just went through this sticker book and found some label stickers that matched that hot pink color. I found some that were the lighter pink color, and I just kind of add these to the top of the photos. That one says good vibes only. And then I pulled out this old sticker book. I've had this for several years. It's from Me and My Big Ideas, and it's just all matte gold images, stickers, clear stickers, and there's a ton of arrows. And I thought, well, we're on an arrow kick here, so I just kind of picked out several gold arrows and kind of stuck them in between the cut file there, and it's going to add some fun pops of gold. And I like these stickers because they're not super shiny gold. They look shiny, and they are shiny, but they're more on the matte side. Because some gold things are so gold that, you know, they kind of blind you in the light. So I really like these. So all I'm doing is adding those around the page. And then I found these in my stash. These are from Studio Calico, and they're just some little glittery gold foam heart stickers, so I'm going to add some of those here and there. Yeah, I was just looking for small things because I didn't want to add anything big to cover up any of the cut file. Now here's what I'm talking about by super shiny. These are some thickers that I've had in my stash. I think everybody has these thickers in their stash. To tone down this brassy gold, I'm just using my finger and some white gesso and just giving it a little smudge. And all this is going to do is soften up the shine to make it more of a matte shine. And since my daughter is wearing an owl shirt, I decided to make my title Such a Hoot, you know, to kind of play on the whole owl thing, because she was being silly here. She had a hula hoop. It was actually purple, so it matched perfectly, and she was being all silly and crazy, so I thought Such a Hoot would work. I'm going on to even smaller details here with some Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins. I've got some purples, some pinks, some oranges, and some yellows, all the colors to match. You can kind of see here I just glued those randomly around the page for some little specks of color and texture. And then this is one color that I add in here at the end. It's more of that bold, darker pink color. It does not come in the kit. This is from my stash, and it's called Pink Stilettos, and it's also a Coloringz. So there's no shimmer to this color, but I wanted some pops of that darker pink in splatter form on the background. And then I just come back in with the orange and the other colors from the kit to add some more splatters. And I'm almost finished here. I'm going to use my T-square ruler to add some lines, and then to write my journaling I'm going to use my metallic gold pen there, and that pen is from Pentel, and I got it at Michael's a long time ago. But anyway, I did add the date, but that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I love this color scheme. I think it turned out really, really pretty, and I love this cup file. It's so pretty, it's so versatile and so different. So many possibilities. I cannot wait to see how you guys use this cut file, because like I said, you could just use one of the arrows and make it really big, or you could use all of them like I did here. And there are a couple that I didn't even use, but here are all the close-ups. You can see all the pretty colors, all of the different shimmers of all the different 4 colors that I used. Yeah, we've got everything. There's no shimmer, there's lots of shimmer. You can use whatever you want. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. This kit is available today in the Shimmerz store, as well as the October edition. This Missy kit is $18.95, and I hope you'll get your hands on it because it's really, really pretty. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.